Hi guys, welcome back to another video of GD Baits, and today we're going to be talking about 3 baits that I would not go fishing in the fall time without. It's late September, one of the best times of the year because we're slowly transitioning from your summer heat to your cool, pleasant fall. The fall is, it can be difficult to fish, but for some of you who still do fish, and it can be really good. Most people during this time of the year are transitioning to hunting, as myself, but the little fishing that's there, it becomes unpressured because most of the people are hunting. But today we're just going to talk about 3 baits that can really help you get more bites in the fall. Number 1 being the buzz bait. The buzz bait is one of my favorite baits of all time. To me, it's my favorite topwater because it just really allows you to cover so much water. And along with covering a lot of water, it becomes a really good junk fishing technique. And for those of you who don't know what junk fishing is, it's the process in which you go out there and you really just keep fishing, covering a lot of water in shallow water particularly. And this means you just go out there, throw as many baits as you want, just trying to get a fish. You're not exactly finding fish on a pattern. You're getting them. I can catch one here on a jig, or go a few feet away and catch one on a spinnerbait. It's always random. Junk fishing happens a lot, and most of the time junk fishing can be frustrating, but in the end it can also be good because you're not always trying to worry about finding a pattern. And for those of you new to fishing, it can be really fun because you don't even have to worry about a pattern. You can just catch whatever on whatever. But for me, a buzz bait does significantly well because a lot of times a buzz bait, I don't know what it is about it, it has the sound that is just so unique. A whopper plopper does not come close to it. It's to me, a buzz bait is like the best topwater of all time. It just covers so much water. It's more weedless than you think it would be, and that's why I'd probably nominate it for the fall transition. A lot of people throw their own baits that they don't think topwater belongs in the fall categories, but if it were my choice, I'd say a buzz bait and a frog actually do pretty good in fall. On to the next bait would be one of my personal favorites on this channel, and just as a occasional angler, I'd say it's a jig. This is the Strike King Bitsy Bug jig, one of my favorite jigs of all time. It's just a bite getter, and the jig is always gonna be a very versatile bait because you can hop, skip it, drag it, bounce it, swim it. You can fish it in deep water, shallow water, cold water, warm water. It doesn't matter. Jigs are just so versatile, and I think that's what I like most about them. And they just mimic anything a bass would want to eat. A jig mimics it. A lot of times in the fall, when you're getting your colder nights but your warmer days, it really messes the fish up because it just makes them really tight to cover, it would seem as if, and the colder nights messes them up more than the warmer days. They don't always want to feed. Sometimes I've seen it to where you go in September and November, even all the way up to then, and you'll have really good days of fishing and really tough days of fishing. It's feast or famine is what the fall fishing is. And you just gotta really be on your toes about it and just really pray for the best. But to really help you narrow down some of your bait selection, I would definitely recommend a jig. And especially the colder you are in your zone, the more cold it is in your area, I'd go smaller and like lighter head, because the slower your presentation, the better, because fish don't want to use that much energy. And today, for the final bait I think we're going to be talking about is something that's not very looked highly on around this time of the year to me, and that's a spinnerbait. Spinnerbaits are such good baits for the fall because a lot of your fish are just gonna straight go into the shallows like we talked about and just hit the cover. They're gonna be really tight in that cover and they're not gonna really move. And sometimes you running a big presentation spinnerbait, sometimes even a small spinnerbait, it can be such a good bait. It has drawing power. It's such a good bait to pull them out of that cover because most of the time they're going to be really tight to it. And this is a primary working bait on your treetops. So a lot of the times the fish will be in wood, and wooded areas are fish holders. Wooded areas hold fish. And I don't know what it is about it, but that slow moving vibrating spinnerbait can be a tremendous change in bait selection when it comes to fall fishing. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully there'll be more in the future, and don't forget to please subscribe. On to the next video.